Thomas and friends lost at sea.
It was a beautiful day on the island of Sodor, and Thomas was very busy. A new search and rescue center was being built, and there was a lot of work to do. The rescue center would be a place to help people in trouble. Harold would have a new landing pad. Captain would get a new dock. And Rocky would finally get his own ship.
Rocky derailed.
The search and rescue center will be made of the strongest wood of all, Joby wood. It will arrive today at Brendam docks. Diesel wanted to show off and move all the Joby wood by himself. But when he did, the flatbeds holding the wood skipped off the track and over a steep cliff. Thomas saved Diesel, but all the wood splattered into the ocean below. As a reward, Thomas was given the job of going to the mainland to get more Joby wood. But the next day, the dock manager told Thomas that there was no room for him on the steamboat. Thomas saw a raft. The ship could pull me on that, Thomas puffed. The engines whistled and wished farewell to Thomas. He peeped goodbye to them. Then, with a long, low hoot of its horn, the big steamboat set out to sea, pulling Thomas behind him. Thomas was far out to sea when darkness started to fall. Fizzling fireboxes, he peeped. The chain to the steamboat had snapped. Nobody heard Thomas whistle and peep for help as the steamboat chugged away. Waves rocked the raft. Thomas was alone and very, very worried. How do I get home? Thomas wondered. The next morning, Thomas found himself on a strange island. It was misty and quiet, and he didn't see any other engines. There must be a big dock and some ships, he said to himself. If I find them, I can sail back to Sodor. Thomas searched all over the island. He found many twisty tracks and thick, scratchy bushes. There was even a tunnel through an old fallen tree. But he didn't find a dock or anyone that could help him. Meanwhile, on Sodor, Sir Topham Hatt learned that Thomas was missing. Everyone stopped working on the search and rescue center and started looking for their lost friend. Sir Topham Hatt and Captain raced out to sea. The engines searched all over Sodor, and Harold took to the sky. Thomas was beginning to worry that he wouldn't find anyone to help him when he met 3 engines named Bash, Dash, and Ferdinand. They worked at an old logging camp. "We're the logging locos," puffed Dash. "Misty Island," huffed Bash. Then Thomas made an incredible discovery. Bumpers and buffers, these are Joby logs. That's the wood we need to build the Sodor Search and Rescue Center. Thomas told the logging locos about the rescue center. They agreed to help him load the logs.
But Bash, Dash, and Ferdinand liked playing games more than they liked loading logs. And they really loved bouncing on the wibbly wobbly shake shake bridge. Thomas definitely did not enjoy bouncing on the bridge.
Old Wheezy, the giant log loader, wasn't much help either. He wanted to throw wood instead of stacking it. Thomas thought the work would never get done, but after a day of dishing and bashing, the Joby wood was ready to go. Now how will I get these logs back to Sodor? Thomas peeped. Luckily, Bash knew a way. Bash told Thomas about a dangerous old tunnel that connected Misty Island to Sodor. I know all about tunnels, Thomas huffed. It won't be dangerous. So, pushing their flatbeds, the logging locos followed Thomas into the dark and twisty tunnel. Suddenly, there was trouble. Rocks tumbled down around the engines. The tracks were blocked. Thomas and the logging locals were trapped. I feel air on my funnel, Ferdinand peeped. Dash spotted a hole in the roof of the tunnel. Huff your hardest, he said to Thomas. Someone will see your steam. Thomas thought that was an excellent idea and excitedly started puffing. Back at Brendam docks, Percy saw 3 puffs of steam in the sky. His firebox fizzled. It's Thomas, he peeped to Whiff. He's on Misty Island. Whiff knew about an old tunnel that led to Misty Island. Follow me, he puffed. Percy and Whiff raced through the tunnel and found the cave-in. Watch out, Thomas, Whiff huffed. Percy and I are going to push through the rocks.
With that, Percy and Whiff rocked and rolled and pumped their pistons. Then they crashed through the rocks.
Thomas and the logging locos were saved. Sir Topham Hatt was very happy that Thomas and his new friends were safe. And with all that Joby wood, the search and rescue center would be finished in no time. Today is a special day, made possible by very special engines. All the engines peeped, and Thomas's pistons puffed with pride.
Thanks for watching Kids Arts Play. And don't forget to subscribe.